Hello, and welcome to Spirit Among Us. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 12. Remember that you were at that time separated from Christ, alienated from the commonwealth of Israel, and strangers to the covenants of promise, having no hope and without God in the world. In speaking to the Gentile Ephesians here in his letter, Paul emphasizes that he wants them to remember the people they once were, and the hopelessness they once lived in. They didn't know God. They didn't know salvation. And they didn't have real life. They were cut off from God entirely and had no real reason for hope. All Gentiles were separated from Christ and God, and in addition to being alienated from Him, they were alienated from the commonwealth of Israel. We had no claim to belong as Jewish people. We weren't part of the chosen nation of God, but we were aliens and strangers to Israel. So what does that mean exactly? What should we grasp in remembering this truth? Well, we should look to the truth of how God treated the nation of Israel throughout their history. We know that there wasn't particularly anything special about Abraham or his descendants, or anyone in the nation of Israel for that matter. They weren't chosen because they were special or unique in some way before God. He chose them in their weakness, and He chose them simply because that was His choice. To illustrate this point, Moses actually pointed out to the Israelites that they were chosen as the least of all the nations. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verses 6 and 7. For you are a people holy to the Lord your God. The Lord your God has chosen you to be a people for His treasured possession, out of all the peoples who are on the face of the earth. It was not because you were more in number than any other people that the Lord set His love on you and chose you, for you were the fewest of all the peoples. God chose Israel to be His treasured possession. He chose them to be a people that were set apart and holy to Him. He blessed them, provided for them, and protected them. Though they turned and rebelled many times, He continually led them all the way to the promised land and kept His covenant with them. This was a very special blessing. No one on earth received this level of attention and care from God as much as Israel did. He loved them and treasured them more than any other nation. And this is what Paul wants us to remember. This is what he wants us to recognize, that we weren't part of that. We had no right to receive God's special attention, nor do we have the right to be His chosen people. We were alienated from all of this, separated from all of these beautiful blessings. But now, the church is the new focus of God's attention. It's not to say that Israel isn't important, because they certainly are. But now, the chosen people are those who come to Christ. And all of the provision, all of the love, and all of the attention that God gave to Israel is now given to us as the bride of Christ. And this is what Paul wants to point us to. This is a great blessing to know this. So I'd encourage you today to meditate on who you once were, and how you once were totally separated from all of these blessings that Israel had. But now, in Christ Jesus, you have been welcomed in completely, and now you are the object of God's own affection. Thank you for watching, and God bless.